not rich toward God. That was the flaw in the plan. Story I told you yesterday on the broadcast. Jesus told us about a man who he had a crop that was just outstanding. And he didn't know what to do with all this wealth that he had obtained. And so he decided, I'm going to tear down all my little barns, and I'm going to build bigger barns, and I'm going to store up, and I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to eat, drink, and I'm going to be merry. And then God showed up. And he said, you're a fool. Your soul is going to be required of you. And he said, because you have not been rich toward God. In other words, to say this, that you love your possessions, all of these things that you have obtained, luxury above God or above ministry. And so the comparison would have been that this man would have said, I've got all this wealth and I have much more than I need. I'm going to find other people who are needy, and I'm going to minister to their physical needs so that I could have the opportunity to speak into their lives and talk to them about their spiritual soul. You see, that was the opportunity that he had, but instead of taking that opportunity to expand the borders of God's kingdom, it all became about himself. And this is a terrible, terrible thing that happens so often in the kingdom of God. People who know what the Great Commission is. Go ye therefore to the world, preach the gospel, sacrifice in order to expand God's kingdom. But so often, saints forget all about this. And they turn inward toward themselves. And they begin to desire things that are not necessary, because if you've got enough, then that's what you need. It's just enough. But many times people, they decide, I like to have this over here. Maybe it's a car that was way beyond the needs that you have for an automobile, or a house that goes beyond what you need for your basic shelter. And so in order to obtain this, that means I've got to work more. I've got to put in more hours. I've got to strive a little harder. And I just don't have time to go to church on Sunday. I don't have time to be involved in the expansion of the gospel. I'm busy because I have to take care of all my stuff. And this is what Jesus said. He said, man, you're a fool. That's what he said. He said, you are a fool because you're not rich toward God. Your eye has left the prize. And now you're focused on things that are temporal and not things that are eternal. And that's the flaw in the man's plan. And I believe it's a flaw in a lot of folks' plans. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.